Hello, welcome back to very mid-level FaB gameplay with me, Lupine Fiasco. Today we're going to be playing against Levia, Shadowborn Abomination. Because this game was filmed within the last week, we're in the Dusk till Dawn meta, which means that no one has any idea how to build Levia, and I certainly have no idea how to play against her. So, with my understanding that Levia is still just an aggro race, but that she attacks bigger, has high roll potential with Blood Rush Bells and Claws. We are just doing normal FaB stuff. Our opponent chooses, or we choose to put our opponent first, which works very well for us because this hand is not great for winning the game. Levia just attacked me for 6. We are maybe making a poor choice to block with the Lava Burst, but that is what I would do here. And what I did, we want to keep Flame Call Awakening so that we can start cycling our flames, playing them out of the deck, put 2 in the graveyard to increase the power of Rise from the Ashes, to increase the power of our Enlightened Strikes, being able to pick up a Phoenix Flame and then bottom it to E-Strike for 7 is a lot more impactful than Phoenix Flame for 1 Arsenal card, or E-Strike for 5 bottom of Phoenix Flame. You know what I mean. An E-Strike is a much better way to use the Phoenix Flame, an extra Phoenix Flame, than to just hit for 1. Or you can Arsenal a second Phoenix Flame and then have the first one in our graveyard, and now we have 2 Phoenix Flames. But starting with an early Flame Call is good. A good thing to do. Our other option was to block with the Soul Bead Strike, keep a finisher, which is strong, but on the options that we don't draw blue, we're in trouble, or we don't draw a red to turn on the Flame Call Awakening, we're in trouble. Here we do find a finisher and another blue. Blue Brand with Cinderclaw is not a great way to start an attack chain, but it does put us in a position to brand Kodachi Phoenix Flame to play Flame Call Awakening. So starting with brand, almost certainly playing brand, pitch Soul Bead to Kodachi, pick up a Phoenix Flame. Phoenix Flame likely gets blocked by the Scabskin Leathers, but with a Flame Call Awakening, we are able to then send Flame Call for 3, Kodachi for 1, Phoenix Flame for 1, Salt the Wound as a finisher, and our Mask Momentum trigger. Keeping in mind from our last video against Lexi, sequencing matters. Send your 3 on link 1 or 3, not on link 2. Here Phoenix Flame gets a card from hand, which is great, because that meant that Phoenix Flame was essentially a head jab. It was worth 3 points of value, as opposed to 2 from Scabskin Leathers. Flame Call gets blocked, which is fine. We are just going to, without a way to use the Kodachi, and with the knowledge that we will have a Phoenix Flame in graveyard, here I'm inclined to send Salt the Wound. Just 4 points of value, but we put a red Draconic card into our arsenal. Without a finisher here, we are less likely to need our Snapdragon Scalers to make our turn work. I don't agree with sending Phoenix Flame here. I would have rather sent Salt the Wound. I also don't agree with playing Salt the Wound here. I would have sent Salt for 4, get this endless mob block, arsenal a Phoenix Flame. We are immediately punished for not arsenaling that Phoenix Flame as we see a Spreading Flame in hand. That said, this is still going to be a very good turn for us. We are going to play Spreading Flame. We're going to attack with a Kodachi, play Spreading Flames, play Brand with Cinderclaw, which puts us on our Mask trigger. We can then use our last floating resource to attack with a Kodachi for 2, pick up a Phoenix Flame to attack for 2, Here we would Arsenal and Enlightened Strike, but imagine if we had a Phoenix Flame in Arsenal. We get to do this same turn, except we're sending additional damage and an Enlightened Strike. Not arsenaling the Phoenix Flame there is a big mistake, and one that I didn't even realize I made when I originally played this game. So, in general, with at least one copy of Spreading Flames in the deck, that's just one more reason to arsenal your second Phoenix Flame when it's an option. Sending the hello, our opponent is playing slowly, and it's entirely possible that they're lagging because Talishar is an incredible client that sometimes lags. Starting off with the Kodachi, playing through the line exactly as I said. Here, walking through it, only having one Phoenix Flame of the two, knowing that we only have one Flame Call Awakening left in our deck compared to two Rise from the Ashes, I am inclined to... This is a much easier situation, a much easier choice to make. But if they did not block with Flesh Bag, I'm inclined to attack with the Phoenix Flame and save the Enlightened Strike, arsenal that for next turn if we need it. But here, this turn plays itself out, send the Phoenix Flame for 2, move to end, arsenal the E-Strike. Which is what I would have done anyway, but now I didn't even have to choose. Levia opens up with Art of War. Depending on the modes chosen, what gets banished, I am not inclined to block here. Banishing Slitherpede and giving it go again is such an incredible line, which is just really going to already increase the playability of Levia. I have seen over this game and the next one that I'll be recording on a later date, Levia is just so much more consistent. She's so much better now. No Levia game that I've played so far has been close and has left me feeling like, well, they had to do it that way. They had to high roll me or else they lose. I have been high rolled by Levia. It does not feel great, but it used to be that if a Levia game was close, it's because they did high roll it, because they had to. But here, Levia just plays the game. This is just what she does now. Blocking with the Furnace, Levia doesn't present on hits, especially if they're on claws. They're doing the Blood Rush Bellows build, so they aren't even necessarily going to CNC you. So there's no real on hits to block. You're just getting your armor value while you can. Here, with one block left on the Scab Skin Leathers, I am not inclined to attack with Snatch with the intention to Snapdragon. It's something I can do. I get this Scab Skin, I get a card from hand, and that sets me up to potentially abuse Kodachis as a way, Kodachis and Phoenix Flame for 1 to trigger Mask Momentum. Here with a second Phoenix Flame in Arsenal, E-Strike as a finisher is always an option. So what we could do is attack with Snatch, Snap, then send Brand for 2, Kodachi for 1, Rising Resentment for 3 to get another card from our Levia, pick up Phoenix Flame, E-Strike for 5, draw a card. It's a great way to push 5 damage and get a Phoenix Flame back in our deck. We can also, if we weren't going to lead with Snatch, Brand for 2, Kodachi for 1, Rising for 3, Phoenix Flame for 2, E-Strike for 5, bottom to Snatch. I like the first line more. As much as I don't want to send Snatch just to get it blocked and use my snaps, I want to save it to threaten damage later. Threaten an actual draw effect if I draw another Snatch and Levia has no armor. As it is, I like leading with Snatch here. Snatch, Snap, Brand, Kodachi, Rising, pick up Phoenix Flame, E-Strike for 5, draw a card to give us an arsenal and just really push some damage. Levia only has 1 Blood Debt in Banish, We are not concerned about them going consumed. Here we seem to be doing exactly this line. Levia plays into it exactly how we expected she would. We know that she still has Husk available, but it's just a good card to get if she does decide to block the E-Strike with it. Or Snaps. Snaps in FaB is largely not to contribute to your big power turns. It can. Snatch for 4, Snapdragon, Art of War to push it over blocks is a great line, but mostly what Snaps is used for is to fix weird turns. Fix your turns where you need to lead with a Snatch to turn on your Blaze headlong. Fix your turns where you need to lead with your E-Strike. Here we play our Rising Resentment as a 0 for 6. Which, sure. Levia clearly wants her hand, which, respect, but yikes. Pick up a Snatch for the arsenal. A finisher isn't necessarily what we love to see, but it's a lot better to see than a dumpy blue. So we arsenal our Snatch. Take our damage. Screamer Memer with 1 resource floating is definitely scary. This is a 10 followed up by a Boneyard Marauder. So I do remember this game now. And this was a big point of discussion on the FaB Discord. And you'll see why. So with this play, we definitely taking the 6 puts us to 4, which leaves us dead to double Reckless Swing. That's a tall order for Levia because she needs to draw 2 Reckless Swings. She needs to play the first one and not have it. She needs to draw 2 Reckless Swings, 2 6-power attacks. Then the first Reckless Swing needs to not discard the second Reckless Swing, which is a lot for Levia to need to do. That being said, we have a blue in hand to pay for the Art of War. We are not going to need Furnace. Blocking with Furnace to keep us at 5 life is a much more comfortable position than going to 4 life and even just risking being dead. So blocking with the Furnace here, keeping Mask because Levia is at 18 and we're going to need to try to make something happen with the Mask is good. Shuko, we could in theory block with it here based on the hand we have. We aren't going to trigger it, so it might just be 2 points from block might be the most value we can get out of it for the rest of the game. But I am also fine with not blocking with it because this puts us to 5. We aren't dead to Reckless. And we have it to block with later if we need it. So we go to 5. Here we are in a very weird position where we don't have Snapdragon available for Snatch. So Snatch is only a finisher in this case. If we were going for the guaranteed damage play, we play Art of War, we pitch Warmongers, we banish Blaze Headlong, and we do that because Mounting Anger is guaranteed 5 under the Art of War with Go Again. If we banish the Mounting Anger, yes, we keep an additional resource for Kodachis, for a Phoenix Flame, for whatever we might draw. But in a world where we don't draw a red card, Blaze doesn't have Go Again, that's catastrophic. So this was a big point of contention, and looking at this hand again, being in this situation again, I stand by my decision, which is, for the first time in 700 FaB games, Art of War is going to be +1 power, the next attack action gains Go Again. And we are keeping our 4 power card, 4 power card, 4 power card. We're keeping the guaranteed damage. This line with 1 resource for Art of War, 1 resource for Mounting Anger is Snatch for 5, Mounting Anger for 5, Kodachi for 1, Blaze Headlong for potentially 6. And I stand by that decision. We are presenting a guaranteed 5, 6, 11, 16 points of damage. There's a draw trigger. Levia needs to commit 2 cards to blocking this snatch without any armor left. If we can put Levia below 14 life, 13 or lower, she does not have the option to go consumed, which means that the blood debt will kill her. It's the muscle memory wants me to go low, but we're going to do, we're selecting buff and go again. Very weird, but I stand by the decision. The argument for banishing Blaze Headlong here is Blaze under Art of War is 5 damage. If we drew 2 head jabs, 2 red head jabs off of this Blaze, that would be 8 points of damage. So we're losing 3 points by sequencing this way, by making the choice we did, but I do stand by it. We see that the Levia blocked with a Blood Rush Bellows and a blue. We see that she played a Reckless Swing and discarded Reckless Swing. So the 2 cards that she blocked with were both non-attacks. She would not have been able to kill us from 4. Wouldn't it have been crazy if she had been able to kill us from 4 if we didn't block with Furnace? We went to 4 thinking that we were safe, and then we just died. Here, we draw a Draconic Starter, which is exactly what we need. Pick up a Phoenix Flame, attack Levia, put her beneath 5 life, she dies to Blood Debt, and that's the game. But we also ended the game at 5 life and had armor, but I don't feel like the Levia did anything that crazy, and that's such a huge step up for that hero. We're going to be playing the Ninja versus Levia game exactly the same as we did before, but it'll be so much closer now, and that's wild.